Acrobatic goals, powerful shots, beautiful chips. Erling Haaland has scored all types this season, and today we want to appreciate the best of them all. The Norwegian has scored 53 goals across all competitions in his debut campaign in England, and many of them have been crazy. But here are Haaland's top 10 goals this season. Third goal versus Crystal Palace. Erling Haaland's first hat-trick in a Man City shirt came just 3 minutes into his Premier League career. It was a game against Crystal Palace, which didn't start out well at all for City. By halftime, they were 2 goals down, but a goal for Bernardo Silva in the 53rd minute brought them back into the game. The Norwegian marksman then took it over from there. A goal in the 62nd minute, another in the 70th, and then he saved the best for last. The third goal came in the 81st minute, and it was the pick of the bunch. Just take a look at this.
They're into the gap. Haaland has it. Haaland still.
Haaland really just shrugged off those defenders like pesky flies and banked the ball home. That was his first hat-trick in the Premier League, but at that moment, you just knew it wouldn't be his last. Outside the box goal versus Wolves. If Haaland has faced anything close to criticism since he joined Man City, it's about how he gets his goals. Many opposition fans call him a tap-in merchant, and they claim that without Pep Guardiola's Man City creating all those chances for him, he'd be nothing. But he shut all the haters up with his goal against Wolves in the Premier League. Take a good look at this.
Haaland with his first chance, has a shot, scores a goal. Absolutely sensational.
Goal from outside the box and with his weak foot. Now that's not what you expect from a tap-in merchant, is it? Scoring goals is just too easy for Haaland, and this one proved to be no different. Bully of Brighton. One of Haaland's greatest strengths is his strength. The guy simply bullies defenders on his way to goals and sometimes even bullies the ball into the net. He's truly an unstoppable force. When high-flying Brighton met City at the Etihad, they got a taste of this big bully. Just 22 minutes into this game, look at what he did.
Now City are looking to come forward. Haaland's looking to get there. He will do. And he'll score.
Just so you know, Adam Webster, the defender Haaland put on the ground so easily, is a 6'3", 165-pound man. He's surely not featherweight, but Haaland made him look like he was. In seconds, the 22-year-old striker showcased immaculate control, blistering pace, amazing strength, and a deadly calm to finish. Oh, and big shout out to Ederson for that crazy assist too. Insane movement versus Liverpool. When a team prepares to face a striker, they probably first plan to make sure he doesn't even get near the ball. Liverpool thought that they were doing just that in the opening minutes of their EFL Cup round of 16 game against City when De Bruyne got the ball on the left wing, and this happened.
Goes to De Bruyne. De Bruyne in a crossing position. Haaland scores!
The Liverpool defenders thought they had it all covered, but then all of a sudden, like a lion smelling blood, Haaland moved with amazing agility and got his leg in front of Joe Gomez and poked the ball into the net. The goalkeeper was obviously shocked to find the ball in the back of the net. To be fair, we all were. The flash goal versus Arsenal. Here is another example of Haaland smelling blood in the opponent's box. While the Premier League season approached its business end, Man City and Arsenal were the clear contenders for the title. And with Arsenal ahead on the table, City knew they needed a win. They couldn't even afford to draw that game, and Haaland knew that. So with a few minutes left on the clock, he went and did this.
On he goes to De Bruyne, cross the face of the goal, and Erling Haaland!
Not the best first touch, I'll admit, but he was quicker than everyone else in the box and still managed to get his goal with his weak foot. Now that's why he's a special player. He can create goals even from mistakes. Fourth goal versus RB Leipzig. Haaland had quite a number of games where he broke and equaled records this season, and the Champions League round of 16 second leg against RB Leipzig was one of them. He equaled the record for the most goals scored in a single Champions League knockout game, a record held by Lionel Messi. In this game against Leipzig, Haaland scored all types of goals, a penalty, a header, a tap-in, all sorts really. But the pick of the bunch was the fourth one. Why? Have a look for yourself.
Bernardo Silva with a header. Haaland! And then the Kanji and Haaland again! He's got
That goal showcased how dominant Haaland is as a goal scorer. The leap, the positioning, the awareness, and the power in the shot, all so perfect. I mean, that was the most packed box I have seen in a very long time. All 11 Leipzig players were in the box at the time, but Haaland still managed to get to the ball twice and get his goal. This guy is a predator. Second leg goal against Bayern Munich. After getting past Leipzig in the round of 16, City were drawn against another German team in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Bayern Munich were obviously tougher opponents, but City beat them pretty easily in the first leg, with Haaland closing the scoring. But the return leg was to take place in Germany, so there were some nerves for City, and the pressure was heavy on Haaland in that game because he missed a penalty early on. But the Norwegian kept his head down, and just a few minutes into the second half, he did this.
One end of the pitch to the other, maybe. Haaland, Upamecano slips!
Again, how? Just how can you call this guy a tap-in merchant? Look at the slick footwork and the calm finish. What a goal, man. Record-breaking chip. Haaland's first season in England has been a resounding success, and this particular goal perfectly encapsulates it. Literally any kind of goal would have been okay for his 35th of the league season, which broke the record for the most goals ever scored in a single Premier League season. But Haaland decided to make it even more memorable by making a beautiful goal. Take a look at it.
John to Haaland. Haaland's through on goal. 2-0 City. Had to be. Haaland doesn't miss those.
This dude doesn't just break records, he breaks them in style. A chip from just inside the 18-yard box? Nah, this guy is cool. Calm record breaker. And the celebration that followed, just beautiful. By the way, Haaland scored his first ever Premier League goal against West Ham, and he also scored his record-breaking Premier League goal for a single season against West Ham. Pretty poetic, don't you think? Acrobatic goal versus Dortmund. Just a few months after moving to Manchester City, Erling Haaland was scheduled to face his former club Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League group stages. Even though there were other players who were playing against their former club, like Ilkay Gundogan and Manuel Akanji, the spotlight was always going to be on the Norwegian, and he didn't fail to live up to the expectation. With just 6 minutes left on the clock and the match tied at 1-1, Erling Haaland went and did this.
Joao Cancelo. Oh, that's a great ball. Oh, it had to be.
Just take a look at that goal, man. Everybody watching expected Haaland to head it, but Haaland is always on a different wavelength. This guy is bent on outdoing Zlatan in the crazy goals department. As a matter of fact, after the game, Pep said that he had only seen that kind of goal once before, and it was scored by the legendary Johan Cruyff. Sublime overhead kick. In basketball, there's something called being in the zone. It describes the feeling a player gets when they're super locked in and everything just flows. Haaland this season has been in an unending goal-scoring zone, but in this match against Southampton at St. Mary's, he truly entered the zone. 2-0 up versus a soon-to-be relegated Southampton. Haaland, who had already scored one and created one in the game, entered a different zone and pulled a truly magical goal out of his ass. Look at what he did.
Penalty area he goes, clicks it on. Haaland!
There's really nothing to say about this goal. The strike speaks for itself. You give this goal machine that kind of space, he's surely going to punish you, and trust him to make a show out of it. And you just know that this goal was super special to Haaland because after scoring it, he pulled out that celebration he reserves for only the truly special goals. Now, which of these Haaland goals was your absolute favorite? Let us know in the comments.